Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Gam Ganapate Namaha. Om Shrim Rim Klim Glom Gam Ganapate. Varavarada Sarvajanam Me Vashamanaya Svaha. Sarva Mangala Mangalle Shive Sarvartha Sadike. Sharanya Trambake Devi Narayani Namostute. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Mahalakshmi Rupena Samstita. Namastasya 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 Namo Namaha. Om Aim Rim Klim Chamundaye Viche Swaha. Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Shri Hanumanji Maharaj Ki Jai. Welcome to Daily Satsang, Nitya Satsang. Today is the 29th of November 2025. I want to offer my prostrations to all the great sages and to Paramatma, Bhagwan residing in the Atma, in the heart of every single being. We're continuing to examine from multiple perspectives how to reach the liberated state, Jivan Mukta Sthiti. And in that sthiti, within that sthiti is also Akhanda Bhakti, Prema Bhakti, Bhakti Prema Lakshana Bhakti, Divya Ananda, Divya Prem. This is the ultimate goal of life. Again, from scriptural point of view, from Shastras, from Gurus, from teachers, from Sachin's point of view also, or analysis, perspective. And what is greater than that? Divya Ananda, continuous, uninterrupted joy. Please remember, again, it's my humble request to all of you who are taking this journey further, please keep a notebook with you. Write these points down. Write down key terms. Ask questions. Make comments. There's a lot of terminology that is still going to come. Again, we're not trying to get a doctoral degree in Vedanta or anything like that, but we want to utilize the extraordinary traditions in the Sanatan Dharma to uplift ourselves and to please Bhagavan and all the great sages. That is the goal of life. Otherwise, living a simple animal life is not going to be useful. There's so many people are doing that. What do we gain from that? We don't gain much, not much, right? So we have an opportunity to progress to the highest levels of realization. And what is the barometer? Ananda. It is not that Sachin or somebody else is going to give all of you, or somebody's going to give me some certificate saying now you've reached that. It's not like that. And one should not be deluded also. But the litmus test, as it is said in chemistry, what is the litmus test? Akhanda Anand. Total openness from within. No more harmful conditioning that is present. No more entrapment. No more energy damage. No more getting stuck anywhere. And there's pure love, absolute love all the way around. That is the barometer. That is what the scriptures say. That is the state of the great sages. And we want to discover if that is true. I can believe that. Remember, there's a difference between belief and discovery. There's belief, then there's discovery, and then there's sthiti. There's 3 levels. Yes, there needs to be belief at one level, shraddha. What the Gita is saying is true because there is some anubhav. Sages' life, great saints' lives, yes, they have lived that. They are living that. That is shraddha. That is the level of belief and nishtha and faith. That is a foundation. From that comes discovery. Discovery is not simply beliefs. It is actual discovery that yes, there is this reality. It begins to open up. And then from that discovery, eventually that leads to sthiti, state of unbroken realization. That is called Divya Sthiti, Brahmi Sthiti, Gunatit Sthiti. A lot of names are there. Right? So keep these points in mind. Now, as we're examining Gnan Shakti, Kriya Shakti, Ichha Shakti, all of these, this Gnan, Kriya and Ichha Shakti, they are within this Sukshma Sharir in one sense. They are coming from the Atma Paramatma. They're within the subtle system. The subtle essence, Sukshma Tattva, the Sukshma essence, it is not only the substrate of desire. I'll explain these points carefully. But it is the substrate of consciousness in the cognitive, emotional, and volitional forms. The substrate of desire means what? If we have icha, this is our experience in life. We have countless desires. Yes, we have them. That is the reality of life. So the expression substrate of desire. What is substrate meaning? That which is the foundation of desire. That is called the substrate. And this is a term from physical sciences, but that's applied here. We have icha. For example, let's be very clear. Let's say I want to have a banana to eat. Very simple example. There's a banana sitting in the kitchen, on the kitchen counter. Icha comes. I want to have the banana. So, the substrate of desire is what? That the I that says, I want that banana, that is my ahankar. That is needed also. But the substrate is where there is a force inside. That is the Shakti. That substrate is Shakti. It is undifferentiated Maha-Shakti that is filtered, or that is coming in a particular form through the me towards the banana. And this is also where Mahakali, Mahalakshmi, Mahasaraswati all combine together. Exactly at this point. They combine towards an object. How does Mahakali combine? Kalika Shakti. In many ways. It is putting away other desires to be focused on one desire. That says, I want the banana. So I get up, Kriya opens up, I go to the kitchen, and how does that happen? It's a miracle. We take it for granted that I can just get up out of my chair and go to the kitchen and have a banana. No, it doesn't happen like that. Wo Kalika Devi ki Shakti hai isme. Without her presence, without the presence of that divine tattva, this is not possible. And we know this. People who are chair-bound, wheelchair-bound, they cannot breathe, they cannot, or they have respirators, they cannot swallow. How many things can go wrong? We take so many things for granted in life. Simply getting up from a chair and going to the kitchen to have a glass of water, to eat a banana, eat an apple, to have a spoonful of food. Kitni krupa hai isme. Do we realize this? Hamare mein kitna ahankar hai. We don't understand and accept or even realize how much krupa is there in having our body function normally, in having our desires function. This is called the substrate of desire, that is Mahakali, Mahalakshmi, Mahasaraswati. I'll prove it to you. This is why humanity suffers. We don't understand Shakti. And we take it for granted and we damage it also. But when we don't take it for granted, we say, wow, what a great miracle this is. That the body can get up in a normal way, and the ichha inside says, I want that banana. I want the experience of the banana. Mahakali, what she contracts the energy, focuses it inside the mind. That focusing inside the mind is ichha shakti. That Kriya Shakti also activates that. I go towards that. That is the me, the ego that activates through Rudra Shakti, Maharudra. They combine together. And then we can perform our action that says, I like this, I want this. Mahalakshmi, how does she function? She is the actual object itself. That is the Ashtalakshmi, the object that is present, the banana, that is Mahalakshmi. And Mahasaraswati is the intelligence that filters through, that says how to open the banana, what to do with the banana, how to eat the banana, etc. That is the knowledge behind it. You see, have you ever thought about this? Having open a banana, there's Mahakali, Mahalakshmi, Mahasaraswati, all three are present in the act of going to get a banana and holding it, opening it, and chewing it and swallowing it. Without the three goddesses, there's no chance of even seeing a banana, eating a banana, or digesting. Nothing is possible. This is how each action we perform is connected in realization of Maha-Shakti. And when we forget that, there is our limited false ego. Then we are going to run blindly in this world. Do not run blindly in the world. Run with open eyes in this world. We are going to interact with open eyes, not with blindfolders on. That's the difference. Jnana Shakti, Divya Chakshu needs to open. So today's concept is recognizing that the Shakti inside, the energy that is at the core, which is coming from Ananta Shakti, Parashakti, Paramba, Param Shakti, Bhagwan ki Sankalp Shakti hai from a Vaishnava point of view, or Haladini Shakti. That's all high level technical stuff. That Param Shakti is present within us. Because of that, we're alive. We can perform actions. So when we go to mandir, हम मंदिर में जब जाते हैं, घर में मंदिर है, भगवान की उपासना करते हैं, what are we doing? We are actually tapping into the subtle essence. To write these two words down, subtle, S-U-B-T-L-E, means sukshma. Essence, meaning the, इसको सारांश, सार कहते हैं, सार, essence. There's a more technical word, a beautiful word called quintessence. Quintessential. Quintessence means the essence of the essence. You know, like how you buy the rose flowers, right? They are the essence of the entire rose tree. But the rose flowers can be extracted and make the rose essence. That is quintessence. And we can buy the essence, rose essence, a tiny little bottle, a couple of drops, the whole room will start smelling like roses. Just 2 drops. That is called quintessence. Quintessence. Some words for you to write down. Please write them down. हमारी बहुत अंतर से प्रार्थना है, आप ये लिख देना. And then that will sit inside. Otherwise, 1 year in, 1 year out the other, hundreds of ideas are being presented. How much is sitting inside? That is important. Not just the number of talks and all that. वो सब ठीक है. Please write these things. Writing down is a whole brain activity. It's good to write it down. So 2 words, subtle essence, and from that quintessence. In Gujarati we say sar nopan sar, saransh. Sar means essence, and sar nopan sar means quintessence. And so this is one. These are 2 words. The other concept is substrate of desire. Desire meaning ichha. This is a parallel word in English. We say ichha. And we say energy within desire. Energy that is present to activate desire, for desire to function, for desire to be fulfilled. That is called Shakti within desire, ichha Shakti. So that is called substrate of desire. S-U-B-S-T-R-A-T-E. Substrate of desire. Where is this substrate? Inside of us. It is a gift of life. It is a miracle of life. Life is only possible because of the essence and the quintessence inside of us. The essence is there. The Shakti is there. It needs to go into the interconnection and realization of Mahakali, Mahasaraswati, Mahalakshmi. वो जो 3 forms of Devi which are there. Once we resonate that our Shakti is their gift. वो Maha-Shakti की कृपा है. If we don't realize this, we will be living in ahankar. But when we realize this, we don't live in ahankar. It is the embracing of Shakti, and that embracing of Shakti and offering back as bhakti without damage to Shakti is Shri Radha. Amazing. जिसके जीवन में ये हो गया, मुक्त बन गया. आनंद, आनंद की सिवाय कुछ नहीं रहता. महा आनंद. There's no damage to Shakti. हमारे में ही शक्ति, इसको डैमेज करने की क्या जरूरत है? Why should anybody damage their internal power by anger, greed, uncontrolled sexuality, lobh, krodh, moha, those terrible things? We don't want to even mention them even actually. I hate, Sachin doesn't want to even use those words, tell you the truth. भगवान का नाम ले, ये सब कचरा है. इसका एनालिसिस करने से क्या मिलेगा? It is a total trash. And there's nothing in it of any value. And the only thing it does, it destroys Shakti. It's coming from ahankar. The negative, harmful kind of ahankar damages everything in its wake. We don't want that. उसको छोड़ देना. कैसे छोड़ देना? By understanding these concepts. This is Jnana Marg. Yes, somebody asked me yesterday, one of the devotees came to the house yesterday. We had a nice 45-minute conversation. And she was asking me that what happens if you don't have all this understanding, just pure bhav. I said, that's what the whole goal is. This information is not the goal. The goal is unbroken connection with the feet of Narayana, with the feet of Parameshwari, with their tattva, with that param tattva. That is the actual goal. Then the concepts and ideas are only at the mental level, like what we're talking here. They are necessary to facilitate that connection. That connection is the goal, not the concepts and ideas and just theoretical knowledge. We had a very nice conversation about that yesterday. And the word Gnan doesn't mean information. बहुत ज्ञानी है. People have said to me, Sachin, you're a very... I said, छोड़ दो ये सब बात. ज्ञानी हम है कि नहीं, वो भगवान जानते हैं. In Sachin, we have to look inside, not because of how much information somebody is spewing out. It's fine. Information is good. We need information. We need a starting point. We need concepts and ideas and everything. We need all of that. But that is not the goal. We can talk about Ichha Shakti until we're blue in the face and not understand anything out of it. Or not, उसका कोई अनुभव ही नहीं है कि ये क्या है. अनुभव में जाना. Don't stay at the conceptual level. We start at the conceptual, go into the actual. This is the third concept for today. If you have not written this down already, write it down now. Please keep a notebook with you. Conceptual to actual. Theoretical to real. Is technically in psychology, construct to the reality itself. It all means the same thing. So many people are interested in just concepts and ideas. Many people listen to all these pravachans, But andar mein kuch, if nothing is absorbed inside, we want to absorb maximum. Even 1 or 2 ideas, absorb it and live it. We talked about that yesterday with the Gita shlok. Adveshta sarva bhutanam. I keep mentioning this shlok. Bahut ho gaya is shlok mein sab kuch. I don't need anything else. One concept is enough for realization. Not even 2 are necessary, just 1. It has to sit all the way inside. And it will open up then the whole buddhi, everything will open up. Then the rasa comes. Once it begins to open, then you want to learn new things, understand new ideas, more bhakti, more gnan, more devotion. It just expands. Ananda is not a static state. It is a continual dynamic expansion. This is the 4th concept. Ananda is not static. The mind is static. This pleasure and pain, they look like as if they are something new and extraordinary. There's nothing new and extraordinary about any of it. It's all old stuff that just keeps going in circle. Sukh and dukh. And they can stagnate the individual and trap the jivatma into that cycle. And that cycle is also not static. It is a dynamic, but it's a circular binding cycle. Sukh dukh ki cycle. But ananda is not part of that cycle. जीवन में सुख भी आता है, दुख भी आता है. Sometimes we're happy, sometimes we're sad, sometimes this, sometimes that. Ananda opens up when Mahakali, Maha-Lakshmi, Maha-Saraswati, उनकी जो ताकत है, उनका जो तत्व है, Aim, Hrim, Klim, when they come together inside of us, and coming together in such a way with which we are experiencing the multitude of life. It is not an escape from life. Anybody who tries to escape from life, first of all, you cannot do so. And you try to do that in isolation. Isolation is not realization. How can it be? Maybe for some sadhana purposes, yes, there's benefit, as the rishis did in the past. Yes, we go to retreats sometimes, people do silent retreats, and those are sadhana. As a sadhana, absolutely right. Any kind of sadhana has benefit, it can have benefit. Fasting is a sadhana. But somebody says that I'm not just going to do extreme fasting and that will lead me to God. Wrong. Fasting to some extent is useful. Speaking less or speaking limited amount as a sadhana is useful. Remaining mauna vrat for 2 days not to speak to anybody. Okay, fine. As a sadhana, that is helpful for us. But rejecting the multitude of life is an escape, and that escape doesn't lead to realization. It leads to stagnation and degradation. Bhagavad Gita of Sri Krishna Paramatma is absolutely clear on this point. Arjun wanted to escape. Who is Arjun? That is us. We don't want to fight the battles of life. We don't want to engage in life. But we need to engage. We don't have a choice. We have to engage with life. But the attitude, the perspective, the wisdom, the knowledge, the sannyas is a vritti. Sannyas is a vritti. Sannyas comes about when Gnan Shakti, Ichha Shakti, Kriya Shakti come together in Mahalakshmi, Mahasaraswati, Mahakali, when they come together and one is no longer egotistically pursuing the experiences of life, that is called sannyas. इसी को ही संन्यास कहते हैं. संन्यास क्या है वो? After all, putting on orange clothes and white clothes and blue clothes and shaving one's head and running around in this sansar in organizations, is that sannyas? Where in the Gita says that is sannyas? Show me, challenge दे, आपको सबको challenge है, बताइए एक भी verse भगवद गीता में लिखा है? That is a definition of sannyas? To run away somewhere? If you want to do that as a sadhana, it's just a sadhana. That doesn't mean people putting on those orange clothes and blue clothes and green clothes and white clothes, and by clothes, nobody becomes a sadhu because of clothes. Nishkoyanand Swami कहते हैं, वो who had taken diksha himself, but कितने ज्ञानी थे वो. भगवान स्वामीनारायण के बहुत बड़े संत थे. वेश थी लेश ना लेवाय. What a statement in Gujarati. Vesh. People have taken all kinds of, and people get attracted by that. That's, as a respect is one thing. Just because somebody has put on the ochre robe doesn't mean anything by itself. It means absolutely nothing in fact. In fact, that can be a massive bondage in itself if one is not careful about how to progress in that path. Just by judging somebody because of clothing is a mistake. Clothing, externalities. Unka presence kaisa hai? Of course, they are doing sadhana. We have to take the best qualities from all. But don't make the mistake that is sannyas. वो त्याग है, not sannyas. All of these different organizations that have these tyagi sadhus, they are not sannyasis, they are tyagis. Sannyas is a state of realization. You could be sitting at home as a grahastha with 10 kids and be a great sannyasi. And you could be sitting inside some organization somewhere doing a lot of fasting and tapasya and meditation and be totally trapped in Maya. We have to be careful about this, not to find fault with others. But you cannot judge by externality. Vachanamrut ka siddhant. I'm just Sachin is only explaining. Vasna valo tyagi nirvasni gruhastha. I think it's Garada Madhya 20 or maybe in the middle section somewhere. What a extraordinary teaching that is. Bhagwan Swaminarayan, Shriji Maharaj. उन्होंने कुछ भी बात छोड़ी नहीं है. इतनी amazing बात लिखी है सब कुछ. He's living in this highest level of enlightenment. There's no question. He can see everything exactly the way it is. Vasna valo tyagi. That means tikhi vasna, deep-seated desire is sitting inside. Externally looks like a very enlightened, very knowledgeable, very bahut tapasya, bahut tejasvi. But antakaran mein ichha hai abhi. For this, for that, for this. Because of the lack of Devi Upasana. भगवान की जो शक्ति है उसका आप उसका आदर नहीं की. If you don't understand what it is, cannot connect with it, you can never realize God. Impossible, because this problem of vasana will never go. You'll be spinning for generations, for lifetimes. That's why in Shikshapatri, Bhagwan Swaminarayan used the name of Radhaji. It's the first name that is written in Shikshapatri. Forget about all these current organizations. They have done whatever they want to do. That's a different matter. That's a whole different subject. But the actual original Shikshapatri में क्या लिखा है? Om, बराबर? महाराज क्या कहते हैं? वामे यस्य स्थिता राधा श्रीश्च यस्य अस्ति वक्षसि वृंदावन विहारम तम श्री कृष्णम हृदि चिंतये. कितनी सुंदर बात. भगवान स्वामीनारायण, जिसको भगवान स्वामीनारायण कहते हैं, सजानंद स्वामी महाराज, वो राधा कृष्ण की और लक्ष्मी जी की स्तुति करते. कृष्ण भगवान का मंगलाचरण कर, पर कैसे करते? देखने जैसी बात है. This is the first verse in the main scripture in the Swaminarayan Sampradaya. This is the first verse, number 1 out of 212. वामे यस्य स्थिता राधा. इसमें पूरा रहस्य आ गया. Everything we're talking about is in these lines. Vame yasya stita radha. These 4 words, everything Sachin spoke today is in this. And more. Much, much more. Shrisha yasyasti vakshasi. Bhagwan Krishna ke heart mein Shri hai. See the integration. On the standing next, on the left side is Radha. When we go to any temple, we have Radhika ji usually on the left side. Why is that? Have you thought about that? Why not on the right side? There is a temple in New Jersey. I think it's in Bridgewater somewhere. It's a Venkateshwara ji ka mandir hai. Wahan Radha ji ki murti is on the right side. But I will explain what that is all about. Vame yasya sthita Radha. Why is that? Because that is the Haladini Shakti. That is the power that is running in everything in the Brahmand. और भगवान की जो शक्ति है वो is on the left side. Left side meaning what? That it is a guidance for us. It is बहुत तत्व की बात है that our vritti, our manovritti, our life as it is, it is stuck inside the Maya of Sri Krishna. But to be unstuck from the Maya of Sri Krishna, one has to connect with Shri Radha ji, who is pure love, absolute love. And then why on the left side? Because there's 2 reasons why. There's thousands of reasons why, but the 2 main reasons. Because that Shakti that is coming from Sri Krishna is coming into the universes. It is the Mahamaya Shakti on one side, because Mahamaya is underneath Shri Radha ji. And the other point about Radha ji being on the left side is that once that Shakti reaches Prema Bhakti, comes close to Prema Bhakti, we ourselves are coming close to Radha and Krishna. We're coming close to where they are. And then that takes us to slok number 111 in Shikshapatri. Maharaj kehte hai that at times Radhika ji is on the left side of Sri Krishna. At times she is absorbed inside Sri Krishna out of extreme love. Ati snehe karine Krishna Bhagwan na angma ne vishe लीन થઈ ગયા ત્યારે કૃષ્ણ ને એકલા સમજવા. This is Gujarati. That understands Sri Krishna to be one. That is Advaita, but it is the Achinta Bheda Bhed that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is talking about. That is our goal. Our goal is to be close to Radha Krishna, and then by their krupa, by the krupa of Shri Radha ji, because she's always absorbed into Krishna. Sometimes she manifests as a separate being, but it's not really, they're never separate really. It's just for the purpose of Kriya and Leela and this metaphysics. But when our devotion reaches that point where Gnan Shakti, Ichha Shakti, Kriya Shakti, Mahalakshmi, Mahakali, Mahasaraswati, all comes together within us. There's no more ahankar left. There is prem, prem, prem. And the substrate of desire is not contradictory anymore. That Param Shakti that is inside of us is become completely into bhakti. Every kriya, every interaction is Bhagvatmay. Bhagvatmay kriya ban jati hai. Divya ban jati hai kriya. Same act, eating a banana becomes Brahma Arpanam Brahmahavir, becomes divine. It's not just eating a banana with our ego, with our senses. It's much, much, much more than that. And when it combines together this way, that is Ananda. So the objects of the senses and through the body and all, they are experienced in the light of Prema and Ananda. The same objects. And when we are in that interconnection, where there's no more energetic diversion, damage, or contradiction, what do we have? Through continuous bhakti and prem, one begins to have krupa, and that opens the dimension into Bhagavad Dham. Bhagwan ke dham ka anubhav hota hai. Outside this chakra system. And in that, at the top level of that anubhav, sthiti, जो जीवात्मा gets a divine body and goes into the form of Sri Krishna. Bhagwan jaisa akar milta hai. This is in Golok. This is the whole link. But it begins with day-to-day experience. Literally, apple, banana, grapes. Do we not think that is a miracle, that we can see them and we can eat them and we can touch them and we can... This is Gnan Shakti, Ichha Shakti, Kriya Shakti. With Mahalakshmi, Mahakali, Mahasaraswati and their tattva inside of us, giving us that anubhav. That is why Om, Aim, Hrim, Klim, Chamundaye, Viche, Mahamantra, Navaran Mahamantra. Why is that? Because that mantra opens this connection ultimately into the abode of God. Why does it open into the abode of Paramatma? Because the Aim Bij mantra allows us to gain the intelligence of living in this world with absolute love, no fragmentation effect. It eliminates the fragmentation effect. Fragmentation is contradiction. How is that possible? Because the Aim has within it also the Klim hidden inside. That's why. Very simple thing. I said, I want to have a banana. Very nice. But I want to enjoy the banana. So that is the Klim hidden in the intelligence of getting a banana. And the Hrim is Mahalakshmi, meaning the presence of the object itself. So when they are coming together, literally you're holding a banana, you chew it, and when they're actually together, Om, Aim, Brim, Klim, Chamundai, Viche. So what happens here, Hamara ahankar, with the ego with which we are usually eating the banana, doesn't exist. that act of touching the banana, holding it, opening it, eating it, that is the shlok. Om Brahmarpanam Brahmahavir Brahmagno Brahmanahutam Brahmaivatena Gantavyam Brahma Karma Samadhina. This shlok is in chapter 4, I believe, of the Gita. And it is talking about the Havan, actually. But it says everything is Brahman. The fire is Brahman, the ladle is Brahman, the person doing the Havan is Brahman. This is what happened. It's called Brahmamay Drishti, Brahmamay Kriya. So Gnan Shakti, Ichha Shakti, Kriya Shakti. In having a banana, you are touching God. Have you ever thought about it this way? Your own child, any children at home, you touch the head of the child. Who are you touching? When we are in that connected consciousness with Paramatma out of extraordinary love, out of Gnan Shakti, Ichha Shakti, Kriya Shakti coming together, by recognizing that they are present inside as the substrate of my experiences, where emotions and feelings and desires and everything that is happening is that same tattva. And when we resonate with it through mantra, through bhakti, when we touch the head or the forehead of a child in the home, we are directly touching God. When we hold a banana, we're touching God. We're touching Bhagwan ka sparsh hai. Vame yasya stita radha, Shrishya yasya asti vakshasi. Shri is, meaning Mahalakshmi, is in the heart of Sri Krishna. And Vame yasya stita radha, that is the madhurya rasa between the two. That rasa is present in the objects of the world also. How can it not be? It is the same. But as long as our ahankar is not there, that same rasa is present. In everything. But that rasa is at the topmost level of experience. Hence, that is the Vajra, that is the Vibhuti Yoga that we were looking at in chapter 9. We looked at only a couple of words from verse 28. Everything is Vibhuti then. Because the experience inside is the topmost. Seeing a person who is suffering, and there is हमारे अंतःकरण में से प्रेम की धारा, करुणा, वो क्या है? And there is no fragmentation, there is no entanglement, and there is no fragmentation. There is the flow of extraordinary prema with compassion. That is love. That is Bhagavan, Bhagavad Darshan. The same experience has reached Vibhuti level. So, mandir is everywhere. That's what Sri Krishna is teaching. Yomam pashyayati sarvatra. Where in the Gita says you see me only in temples or in the images or only here but not here? Does it say that anywhere? There's no mention of any temple inside the Gita. Not at all. There's no mention of anything that is limited. Limitations are there. Limited paths are there. There are doorways. यहाँ जो महालक्ष्मी जी का मंदिर है, स्वामीनारायण के मंदिर है, churches है, गुरुद्वारा. There are 2 gurudwaras in Delaware. बहुत सुंदर. कितनी सुंदर, सब शब्द का श्रवण कर सकते हैं. कितना आनंद. Everybody can go. Everybody is welcome to go. You have to put that hairpiece on, that cloth. They have a certain etiquette. It's open for everyone. Nobody is excluded. भगवान के जो मंदिर है, churches है, गुरुद्वारा है, जो भी है, nobody is excluded from entering into the divinity. Knock and the door shall be open. The question is simply not to be caught in limitation. They are doorways. Yeah, I love the word Gurudwar, It's a dwar hai into that Akal Purakh. This is Sikh tradition. Akal Purush, which is Shiva, which is the Param Tattva. Param Shiva, Param, jo bhi naam usko, Omkar. You call it anything you want, doesn't matter. But it is a dwar, it is a doorway. Like the Guru Granth Sahib, for example, it's a doorway into that Param Tattva. Bhagavad Gita, in one sense, is a doorway. It is also the Swarup also. This is how we can realize Yomam Pashyati Sarvatra. It's a doorway where we can go anywhere in the world. Bhagavad Darshan Sivai Kuch Nahi Hai. At relative level, nobody will know that as such, that you are seeing this way. It's not a question of broadcasting that. वो अंतर की दृष्टि है ये. If you have a Nobel Prize winner in physics, it doesn't matter where they go, they can see everything in terms of physics or chemistry or biology or this. Yeah, they live an ordinary life, having ice cream cones, doing this, having bananas, doing like anybody else. Nobody would know even who they are. But unki drishti mein kya hai? Like I give the example many times. Shankaracharya ji goes shopping at the Christiana mall with you. Sounds ridiculous, right? This is spirituality. Take a small picture of Shankaracharya ji. Try it someday. Have anybody tried to do this? Send me a message if you did it actually. मैं आपको बहुत दंडवत करूँ. This is what temple is all about. We have mandirs of Murti of Shankaracharya ji and Krishna and all the other deities. Take a small picture, keep it in your pocket of Adi Shankaracharya ji or Ramakrishna Paramahansa. Do it sometime. Actually do it. I want to hold a Vedanta retreat at the mall one day. Have about 15 people and we want to practice Vedanta at the mall. Kya maja aayega. It'll be a lot of fun. How to do this? You keep a small picture of Adi Shankaracharya ji, and then as you go before you even go into the mall, sit in the car and say, Shankaracharya ji is sitting next to me. What is his vision? That's all we have to ask. We have to ask only one question. Unki drishti kya hai? If we keep asking this question, we will become enlightened. We can become enlightened going to the mall, going to the grocery store, being with our family. Just keep one great saint with you internally. Keep a small picture and believe, just as if they were interacting, how they will interact, what they will see, what they will do. They're dressed just like us. They're not dressed with orange clothes and sitting in some temple somewhere. They're sitting with us. In Gujarati, in Satsang, we say many times, Bhagwan apni saath hi chhe. God is always with us. God is not sitting somewhere far away from us. Kitni murkhta hai. That's a foolishness. Remember Prahlad ji, great bhakta of Bhagwan Vishnu. His father asked him, we'll close with this point. You keep saying Vishnu, Vishnu, where is your Vishnu? He says, don't ask me where he is, ask me where he's not. Prahlad ji aise bhakta ban gaye the, you can see Vishnu everywhere. Sthiti, this is called Sthiti. And this is the goal. So let's close with this. Lots of prarthana to everyone that we can reach. This is what is so hard about this. It's actually very simple and very straightforward. Bahut seedhi baat hai. So let's pray to Maha-Shakti and a lot of blessings from Bhagwan Shankar, Guru Parampara, lots of blessings from all the different sages that we can actually reach is sthiti mein hum ja sakte. And it's hour at a time, one day at a time. It's nothing hard about any of it. These recordings are there. Listen to them 2 or 3 times. Make notes. Drink the bliss of Brahman. Simply, rather than simply listening about Brahman, about God. Ramakrishna Paramahansa would say just one more thing. If you look at the gospel, he's drinking the bliss of Mahakali, the Ananda. He's rolling around in it. This is called Adhyatma. This is called Rasa. This is called Raso Vaisaha. Isko kehte hai the substrate that is Shakti, that is present in everything. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya. Surya Koti Samaprabha. Nirvignam Kurme Deva Sarvakareshu Sarvada. Om Uchishta Ganapate Namaha. Om Shri Mahaganadipate Namaha. Om Shri Radha Krishnaya Namo Namaha. Om Aim Rim Klim Chamundaye Vichay Swaha. Om Rim.